In the late 1990s and early 2000s, the world was slowly changing. Men were no longer satisfied with just being strong or successful. They were starting to care about how they looked. But this shift didn't happen overnight. Behind this transformation, there was one name: David Beckham. He wasn't just a footballer. Yes, he was known for the goals he scored on the field. But what truly made him different was the impact he created off the field. Because without even realizing it, Beckham changed the way men saw themselves. Until then, style was often secondary for men. Haircuts, clothing choices, personal grooming. These things weren't taken very seriously. But when Beckham appeared, that perception slowly began to change. Starting his career as a young footballer in Manchester, Beckham was initially seen as just a talented athlete. When he stepped onto the field wearing the Manchester United jersey, no one could have predicted that he would one day become one of the biggest style icons in the world. But there was something different about him. Even on the field, his presence stood out. He didn't panic. He didn't rush. He moved like someone who knew exactly what he was doing. When the ball came to his feet, he wasn't just thinking about the moment. He was already thinking about the next move. That calmness was part of who he was. Over time, people started talking not just about his game, but also about his appearance. As his hairstyles changed, men began going to barbers asking for the same cuts. His outfits, his combinations, even the way he walked started to draw attention. But here's the interesting part. Beckham never tried to say, "Look how stylish I am." His style didn't shout. On the contrary, it was quiet, and somehow that silence made people notice him even more. One day, a photo of him walking through the streets of London spread everywhere. He was wearing a simple t-shirt, well-fitted pants, and casual shoes. Nothing flashy, nothing exaggerated. Yet everyone looking at that photo thought the same thing. Why does he look so good? That's where Beckham's secret was hidden. He managed to be impressive without being complicated. Many men try too hard to be attractive. They buy expensive clothes, wear attention-grabbing accessories, chase trends, but Beckham was different. He understood the power of simplicity. He focused not on what he wore, but on how he carried it. And that's what set him apart. But it wasn't just about style. Beckham's real strength was in his energy. He was never the loudest person in the room. He didn't force himself to be noticed, yet everyone noticed him, because real confidence doesn't need to prove itself. Real confidence is felt. One of the turning points in his life was his relationship with Victoria Beckham. When they got together, media attention multiplied. He was no longer just a footballer, he was part of a power couple. And that couple became one of the most talked about in the world. But even that intense attention didn't change him. He remained the same, calm, composed, and self-assured. Many people change under pressure. They become more tense, more defensive, or feel the need to prove themselves. But Beckham managed to stay the same, even under pressure. Even when he made mistakes on the field, he didn't panic. When he was criticized, he didn't become aggressive. And that made him appear even stronger. Because control is the clearest sign of real strength. As time passed, Beckham became more than just a footballer. He became a brand. Advertising campaigns, fashion shoots, magazine covers, he was everywhere. But the reason he reached this level wasn't just because he was good-looking. If that were the case, many others could have taken his place. What made him different was his unique presence. He knew who he was, and he never tried to change that. His style journey itself is a lesson. He tried different hairstyles, experimented with different looks. Sometimes he took risks, but he never tried to become someone else. He always created his own version. And that shows us something important. Style isn't about copying others. It's about discovering yourself. Today, many men shape themselves by looking at others on social media. What to wear, how to act, how to look. These decisions are often influenced by someone else, but that doesn't create a real identity. It only creates a temporary image. Beckham's difference was that he didn't follow. He created his own path. In a room, two people can wear the same outfit, but one will stand out more. Why? Because his posture is different, his walk is different, his confidence is different. Beckham understood these details that create distinction, and he applied them naturally. His story teaches us this: attractiveness isn't built overnight. It's something developed over time. You need to understand yourself, figure out what suits you, and continuously improve it. But most importantly, you have to do it for yourself, not for others. For any man today who wants a glow up, Beckham's life is like a guide. But you have to read that guide correctly. Because this story isn't just about hairstyles or clothing. It's about presence. It's about how a man carries himself. Beckham never tried to be perfect, but that ease is exactly what made him appear close to perfection. Because people aren't attracted to perfection, they're attracted to authenticity. And he was always real. In the end, David Beckham isn't just a football legend. He's one of the architects of modern men's style. His influence still exists today. Men still take inspiration from his style, still try to look like him. But most people miss his most important secret. And what is that secret? Not trying too hard. Because real attractiveness doesn't appear when you force it. It appears when you are simply yourself. And maybe that's why, even after all these years, people still ask the same question. Why did every man want to be David Beckham? Maybe the answer is simple. Because he wasn't trying to become someone he already was.